Thank you very much. And of course, first of all, my heartfelt congratulations to all of you on this very special day. I actually just realized now that the last time I attended a graduation was my own 15 years ago. And even though I'm at 36, a few years your senior, I can quite clearly remember what it meant to me. So again, congratulations to you all. I'm going to say something probably you think generations of people who just graduated have been told before. A world of opportunities lies ahead. It sounds like a stereotype sentence, but I can tell you, as a young professional, it is true. The short introduction video gave some impressions of what my way has been in the last 15 years, and the truth is I never envisioned that it would be like that. Becoming a TV correspondent in the Middle East, then work for the Foreign Office for 3 years, then become a TV presenter. I think only a few decades ago these shifts in career would have been nigh on impossible, but I think today they are a normal reality, and they are a normal reality for you all in the next steps. I'm going to say a few things about the topic that I'm most familiar with, and I say that from my heart. I think our society is changed or faced by fundamental changes. The question of migration is not just a question pivotal to the European Union or to Germany, but it's a question pivotal to all our societies, be it in Asia, be it in South America or the United States or Canada. Particularly here in Germany, we are faced with mass migration from Arab countries, from Syria, and from Libya, Yemen, and other Arab states. The question of how we will manage to absorb such a large influx of people coming to our country from such a different and distinct cultural background will be a question and a task for the decades to come. How can we provide them with work and education? Of course, many will return to their home countries after a while when circumstances will allow it. I've spoken to many refugees for my TV show, and yes, I think more than half of them told me that they want to go back as soon as they can. But the truth is not only time will solve these issues, it will solve the question. So when you were telling me how integration, how working together and living together on your campus, how positive this works, it also gives me as a journalist who is telling these horrible stories I think Shipran was telling about. I mean, we're doing this as journalists, as TV presenters, as media professionals. It gives me hope as well because I can see it can work if we all work together. But not only am I talking here about the refugee crisis or the migration crisis or other crises like the Euro crisis or the relations between the European Union to Russia, Middle East. I want to talk about something that's really very essential to you, which is the biggest change in generation our societies have possibly seen in the last decades. Nearly all leading positions in politics, economics, or media are held by the so-called baby boomers. People between the age of 45 and 60, they govern our countries, they lead our institutions, and they head most of our largest enterprises. But within just a few years, they will have to pass on power and responsibility to the next generation, which is you. I think it is a generation that has long been in the waiting line. Earlier generations often took over responsibility at a younger age, particularly when I think of the area of politics and media. For instance, Angela Merkel became federal minister at the age of 37. Today, there is no minister in Germany, at least, who achieved this in his 30s. The next generation, you, is a generation better educated than almost any other generation before, multi-languaged, internationally trained, of which you are here a shining example. When I studied law, it was nigh on impossible to use your German law diploma to continue study abroad. Today, this is a normal thing to do. We at RTL and TV, we receive numerous trainees all year, and I find myself impressed at their skills, ambition, and goals already accomplished. Just over the course of a few years, I have witnessed how ever more the level of education has developed. The next generation is a generation with very specific perspectives and receptions of the world surrounding them. Just 2 weeks ago, a German study was published that scrutinized political views of younger people. It came to the conclusion that young people are highly political. Many of them just don't identify themselves any longer with any specific political party. But they do have the convictions of what role their country shall play, where their position will be in an ever more globalized world. And they do have their perspectives on foreign policies, trade relations, and environmental issues, just to name a few. The next generation is a generation with their own skills and needs in the area of communication. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram are our study companions, being online everywhere and at all times. The digitalization is probably the most profound change in the way we lead our lives in decades. And the digital world is a world older generations are mostly not part of. So as a young professional, I can tell you it is a different world you're entering now, where academic skills and good marks play less a role than innovation, creativity, and assertiveness. Fighting for your ideas, your role will become pivotal and essential. It is a very competitive world you're entering now. Let me again give you an example of the area I'm most familiar with, media and broadcast. I think there's hardly any other position as competitive as TV presenter or news anchor. You are judged by your look, you are judged by your skills, by your voice, and by the way you are handling your team. And you are continuously judged every day. You're monitored by your bosses, you're observed by your colleagues, and the truth is, not every senior presenter likes the idea of making way to the next generation. It is a rocky path, as are many, be it as a journalist or other professions that you are entering now. Self-esteem, but also self-criticism, are the tools that I and my colleagues use and have to use every day. Marhaba, the Arabic-German TV show I've launched at NTV this September, is another example. Hardly would this program have become reality if I had stuck to the regular procedures of proposing new projects or programs. You have to file papers and talk to your bosses. You will have meetings with the head of distribution, PR, with the general manager. And the reality is 95% of the proposals, they will never materialize. So the only real chance I saw to make this happen quickly was to put it online first. And success deemed me right, and we later moved it on to TV. Why am I telling this? Because you have to know that courage and conviction to push through your ideas is the most important tool you will have to use in the near future. It takes strength, be it as a journalist, as economist, as politician, to say, I am here because I have the skills to do that, and I know I will succeed. All of you have the skills, I'm sure. Have courage too on your way. Because the time is ripe to demand your share of responsibility, your role in your society. Be patient is what many older people say. Why wait is what I say. Experience can only come to those who have the opportunity to gain it. A very popular British quote by Alfred Tennyson, and I'm curious if someone knows where it's most famous for, says, "To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield." That is true for many aspects of life. It is particularly true for your career that lies ahead. I wish you all success. Thank you very much. Danke sehr.